Right,
kune masawira tiri pano panyaradzo airport lounge saka tiri kuti kune vari kumburuka vachibuda nevari kumburuka vachipinda tinokutambira ine maoko maviri palounge pedu.
And also don't forget to get a Sawira international plan today.
Nampla.
Yes.
Hello Zimbabwe football fans, welcome to another exciting episode of In Touch with the Legend. Yes, your favorite footballing show where we bring you a Zimbabwe footballing legends to come here to share with us their footballing journey. My name is Alois Bunjira and Nyaradzo Group powering this show. Yes, Nyaradzo Group, Sawira Mukuru, they are into the business of financial services and funeral services. Together with Seal, your lifestyle events management company, they also into the business of events management. So if you want any event to be managed or if you want to hire any events equipment, you can get in touch with Seal. Sawira Mukuru is the show. In touch, like I said, we are in touch with Amini Soma Phiri. We are in the city of kings, Blues. Yeah. Amini Soma Phiri.
Yes, Bob.
How are you, Mko?
Andrews.
Muribo.
Andrews.
Kurise blues.
Chando man. It's a very tricky. Tricky. You know, I don't like this weather.
Is it?
Yeah, because there's a lot of things that are happening when
you're cold.
When it's cold. Yeah. I'm not a favorite fan of winter.
I'm not a favorite of winter, but I don't mind the cold. I would prefer when it rains.
Right.
If it gets cold and it's raining, I don't have a problem. I can stay indoors and stay warm.
Yeah, but with me, it's the opposite. I don't like cold. I feel very uncomfortable when it's very cold.
Anyway, Amini Soma Phiri, do you have a nickname? I've never had a nickname. There
are many. Okay. There are many.
When
I got into Highlanders, there was this Fix-It which was...
Oh yes, Mr. Fix-It.
Which was always mentioned by Charles.
Yes, Mr. Fix-It. Mr. Fix-It. Yeah. I know this Mr. Fix-It, you came on late, you always score.
Yes.
We'll talk about it. Yes, Mr. Fix-It. Which other one?
That one. They was calling me Uskoto, meaning I was very strong.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I was very, very strong.
Yeah.
So, growing up in the dusty streets of the locations and so forth, we couldn't afford a pair of football boots. I didn't mind if you had the boots or what. I was always with you.
You get it?
Yeah. With barefoot.
Yeah.
With barefoot. So I didn't mind.
So that was the nickname?
Yeah, it was this Skoto.
Skoto.
Yeah, meaning you are very strong. Wakasimba.
Mr. Fix-It. Skoto. Anyway, we are here to talk about your life in football, your football life. We want to know every bit.
Yes.
Kushiga Nas sitting here with me. Here. Where were you born?
I was born in Blawayo on the 11th of December 1963.
Yes.
We were staying in Popoma in my grandfather's house.
Okay.
Yeah. Then in 1969, we moved to Luveve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where my father got a place there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We were a family of 9 boys. We are a family of 9. 3 girls and 6 boys.
6 boys.
I'm the third born to my family.
Yes.
Yeah. Understand that. That's what I understand.
But you never watched?
I never watched. The problem being is, when I was born, he was already old.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
He was already old. He was aging, and I didn't have the chance to know him that much. Although I saw him and up until I was a father, but I didn't know much about him. Yeah. My father was a tailor. And my siblings, my brother was born in 1958. The second born was 1960, and I was born on the 1963.
Okay.
Yeah. So Gudara, they don't want to be with you and so forth. They are busy. We had a very tough life.
Okay.
Very, very tough. Being the third born, my father was not earning that much. Yeah, so things were very tough until he was making ends meet in a very difficult way.
Okay.
When we were young.
Yeah.
So I was born in 1963, and 1970, when we had moved to Luveve, that's where my core business is.
Okay.
I was Ndaga Zoran Drumpopoma, and
but
Luveve is where I grew up. Yeah.
Yes.
And then in 1970, I went to Mafagela Primary School. That's where I did my primary education, Jitambam Street and so forth. Yeah, and I was very popular from a very young age because they could see talent. Teachers and people and the community that I grew up with.
Okay, yes.
I grew up supporting Luveve Big 11.
Luveve who?
Luveve Big 11.
What was that?
It's a team.
Yeah, Itamba Luveve.
Yeah, Itamba
Social
Luveve.
football.
No, not social football. They were in Division 4 by that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
there was my uncle who is Alexander Masewo's brother.
Oh, okay.
He was my uncle. I admire him a lot because he was a defender. He was called in Ndende. His name was Charles Masego.
Oh, okay.
And he had a brother who was Andrew Masego. He played for Highlanders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in our community, there's a lot of footballers were coming from there. There was James Numalo, who was already established as a footballer. He played for a Harare team, I don't know, Sebus. And then he came here, played for Highlanders. And then his young brother was Josiah Numalo. So we were not staying far away from where they were staying.
Okay.
So I grew up in a football community.
Okay.
So I liked playing football because I knew I was going to. From that time, my uncle, let me switch. My uncle Charles is the one who groomed me because he was always with me wherever they were playing. Playing outside Bulawayo, outside Luveve and so forth. So that's how I got into football. When I was in grade 4, I was already playing for the first team. Because Muriwangu, you couldn't tell that I was less than 10 years.
You're big.
I was big, very
strong.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I.
So
I
how
liked
did you start playing? Did they call you or you went for trials?
In school, I was already. They just saw me when I was in grade 1. That was 1971.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did they see you?
Playing in these school games, or special on the second term of the year.
Okay. Yeah.
So my name grew up in these schools where we were playing because sometimes Mafagela was always representing outside, like in Zirigazi, where we met the Lucky Dubes, Matinda, and then in Minyela there was Boy Lovo, in Juve there was Raman Nkombo. So in Kudara it was very interesting because there were schools who were competing. There were youth centers. In Bulawayo there are youth centers.
Okay, yes,
so
yes.
they were employing former players to be my teacher Ikoko.
Oh yes,
like my youth leader.
My youth leaders,
Yeah.
yes.
The current players who were playing like Berry Daka, Lawrence Phiri, my uncle Andrew Masego, and so they were all employed by City Council.
Oh
So
yes.
they were recruiting these youngsters from their constituencies.
Yeah.
So I and Alexander Masego, we grew up in Luveve, and then that's how football came. Yeah. So when I came to grade 7, life was not easy. I was by then 13 years old.
Okay.
My parents couldn't afford, because there was after me there was Safi, my young brother, there was Makwinji,
Makwinji Soma
Phiri.
Yeah.
So things were very tough.
Yeah.
And by that time there was no girl in our family. We were then five boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
also it was the first 5 in your family.
First
5 were boys.
Boys, yeah.
Tell me, okay, before we go to okay, no, I'll ask later. You can carry on.
Yes. So
it was tough.
Things were tough. And we were growing older. My brothers, the other one, he passed on at a very early age. The one who I'm following is Mohammed.
Okay.
We call him Mohammed. He was in Malawi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My parents could see that no, this guy was he had a future, because he was very bright in school.
Mohammed.
He was very bright.
Okay. Yeah.
So they chose, these parents. If you can't, I wasn't that good at school.
Okay.
So they decided to let this guy go to secondary school.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's when I started selling things like tomatoes and this and that.
Or they stopped you from going to school?
They stopped me from going.
For grade 7?
Yeah, by grade 7.
We can't afford, but we can afford to take this one and go.
But I had vision.
Okay, yes.
I was selling things at school and this and that. That's where I was upgrading in my education, doing it for myself.
You lie?
Yes, and I was about 13 years old.
No, man.
I knew I had to go to school.
Yes, you knew it to go. Yeah, so you started selling things.
Selling things, tomatoes, oranges in stadiums and so forth. I had passion in selling, because I knew that I had to get a breakthrough.
Yes.
That's how.
In education.
Yeah. So in those days we were calling correspondence.
Oh yes,
so
yes.
I was going at night, and sometimes there were teachers who laughed at me because of my football situation. So they were giving me extra lessons, doing this and that and that. That's how I went to school.
Through correspondence?
Through correspondence.
That was brilliant.
And I was 13. When I was aged 15, came buried in our Luveve Youth Center. He was the one in charge of youth leaders there.
Okay, yes, yes.
He's the guy who he was playing for Olympics by then. He had left Highlanders and came to Supersonic.
Supersonic.
Yeah.
Supersonic ndio yakazoita Olympics.
The yakazoita Olympics.
Okay, yes,
yeah.
Yes.
So he invited me there. I was 15 and very tall.
But it's good.
Very tall. It's good. Yeah, he invited me to go there. He gave me a bus fare.
Okay.
And directed me to come to Chaga, just near Rose Camp.
Okay.
There's a facility there for youth centers. There's a 5-a-side pitch there. So Supersonic were training there.
Okay.
Right. First team.
Yeah, first team.
Right.
Yeah.
He was a player coach for that. So when I went there, it was in February. In February, I spent a year training with him because I was a minor.
Okay.
When I came to 16, I was already big.
Yeah.
Right. He said, I just want to try you. I think you can make it. Very dark.
Oh, Beritaka was
very dark.
Was coaching.
He was player coach for.
Oh, he was player coach for Olympics.
For Olympics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I had already left big level, Luveve big level.
Oh yes, so there was big level. Yes.
In Luveve. So when it came to that was 1979. I was 16 years old.
Okay. Yeah.
He bought me a pair of tennis shoes.
Beritaka.
Very dark.
Okay.
And he bought me a pair of football boots.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Darabibiza.
In Darabibiza.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, now I think you have to change. I'm going to sign you and to be a player. So I will be giving you. He was a very humble person.
Yeah, very nice guy. I remember.
Maybe 10 minutes, especially when we were winning and so forth. It didn't take time. 3 months I was already in the first team.
Olympics?
Yes, Olympics. I was 16 years old.
Wow.
In 1979.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I knew I had to make it because of the situation it was.
At home, yes.
Darangu was already old.
Okay, oh yeah.
And my mother was aging.
Yeah, you said, yeah.
Yes. So I do take care of my siblings.
Oh yeah.
By then, there were 3 girls.
Oh, bangabane wangu kumashure
Yeah,
manje.
3 girls. So we were 8.
Okay.
It was one,
Yeah.
our firstborn passed on.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So in 1982, I remember very well.
So Olympics, who were some of the players that were playing for
There was Fortune
Olympics
Jengeni,
at that time? Yeah.
There was Fortune Jengeni, there was Tito Paket, there was Boyce Malunga, there was Mike Mhlanga. It was a
strong team, yeah.
Very strong team.
Those are big names.
Yeah.
Those are big names.
There was Spark T, he was playing as a striker. By the way, I was playing as a attacking midfielder.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So because I was athletic,
Yeah.
and I could outjump opponents and so forth.
Yeah.
Football was very easy by then because I was playing with mature people like Boyce Malunga, Tito Paket, Mike Mhlanga.
Those were good players.
Felix Ntutu.
Oh yes, Felix Ntutu.
Yeah. Fortune Zengeni. You know, I was at home.
Yeah.
Because they could do anything for me. I was a youngster by then. You know, well, what pushed me most was when I was already in the first team, Lucky Dube, the keeper,
The keeper,
was already at the Wanderers, which later became
Bulawayo Wanderers.
Yeah, Bulawayo Wanderers.
Later became Eagles.
Eagles.
Okay, yes.
And then
He
there
started
was-
as Bulawayo Wanderers.
And then there was Matinda at Highlanders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your age mates.
My age mates. Wapakura wangu, I didn't want wouldn't know someone like my age.
Ashindikunda.
Ashikunda. I always refused that.
Yeah. I like that competitiveness. Yes.
So I was encouraged because there were guys who I played against when we were juniors.
Yeah.
Like Dube from Mzilikazi, Madinda, in Makokoba.
Which juniors? When you were at Luveve?
In the Luveve Big Level.
Big League, okay,
Luveve
yeah.
Youth Center.
Oh yes, okay.
We were
So you were
always
playing against meeting them.
We were
Yeah.
always meeting.
Yeah.
There was Boy in Wanderers and Eagles.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. And there was me at Olympics.
At Olympics.
From Luveve.
Yeah.
You know, I was the first from my age before my uncle came in, Alexander Masema.
Yeah.
I was the first to come into the first teams.
Ku Olympics.
Yeah.
Papana manje. You were playing ku Olympics.
It was passionate. I liked
Yeah.
it. You know, I used to enjoy. But
Serious?
you know, when I joined the Highlanders, there was money.
Ayo, chimumire kumwenda kwa Highlanders. Chimumire arisata kwenda kwa Highlanders. Wait.
I mean Olympics.
Olympics, yes.
Olympics.
Ole. Okay.
Yeah.
We're just going to go for a break. When we come back, I want to know what was the feeling of being this youngster playing in the Super League,
Yes.
in the street now.
Yes.
You were now the big boy.
Yeah, I was now
At
the
16.
boy. Yes.
When we come back from the break, we carry on from there. It's Amini Soma Phiri, guys. If you're just joining us, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. It's In Touch with the Legend. We are in touch with Amini Soma Phiri, the group for powering this show. We're just going to go for a break. When we come back, we carry on from there. Olympics. Yakamenge jinsi Supersonic. Kana majo jene yanga yakunzi Olympics. And he was now playing there with Barry Daka, Bibiza, as the player coach. Don't move away. We'll be back in a moment.
The pain is not on the day of missing our dear ones. The pain is really when you live without them and with their presence in your mind. But there is always a friend that will stand by you in those times.
A friend that holds you close. A friend that can put a smile on your face even in times of mourning. Umdudus, the comforter, Sawira Mukuru, Umgani Omkuru. Every day we celebrate the love share, the smiles share, the journey endured together, the burdens made lighter. Sawira Wemuri, Umgani Wemuri,
Sawira Mukuru,
Tofamba newe, nawe uhamba nathi.
Nyaradzo, Sawira Mukuru.
Umngane omkhulu.
Welcome back, In Touch with the Legend, proudly powered by Nyaradzo Group, Sawira Mukuru. Yes, so I asked you before,
Yes. Yes.
What was the feeling? Now you're getting to play at Olympics at 16.
Yeah. You know, I don't know how can I explain it. You know, I was a hero. I was a hero in Lubeve. You
Yes.
know, I knew because I knew there were newspapers.
Yes.
I was publicized everywhere.
This 16-year-old.
Parents always talked about me to their kids at home,
Yeah.
wherever they were, because I hated beer. I hated drugs.
Yes.
I was busy because I knew that's where my breakthrough was coming from.
Yeah.
I
Because
knew
of
I
the
was-
of what
the
was happening, situation at home. Yeah.
Ndaranga was aging up. He was already old,
Yeah.
but now there was food on the table
Yeah.
for my siblings. You
That's
know,
good, yeah.
what I experienced, Alois, my siblings, like Manama Quinji, the Safis, they never experienced what I experienced.
Yeah.
But that is a story for another day.
Because you
Because
put the
our-
blankets,
I was
feeding the
feeding the whole people, family,
now.
my father, my mother, my siblings. They were now going to school. There was no there, nothing, no problem. Or this term, you are child
no
of from
badaro,
school,
yeah.
badaro.
Ajit.
But it was now a different.
Pangwana superstar brand.
Wherever I was going, there's a shop. I was given gifts in the Luveve filling station. There was in Dara Robert Vera.
Okay, yeah.
He
yeah.
was the owner of the filling station.
Filling station,
Yes, he had played for Highlanders.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so he liked sport. So whenever he saw me, he was giving me my tips in front. Yeah, I'm glad of your talent. Keep it up. Yeah. So wherever he went to schools and so forth, I was a popular guy. Children were running after me. Some of them were coming with you so that I signed.
Yeah.
Yes. Then in 1982,
Yeah.
that's when things went into happen. I was now a star.
Okay.
A Luveve boy coming from Luveve. Everyone was talking about me.
So what happened
But
in
now,
1982?
In 1982, there was this Rose Bowl Cup. That team
Cape United.
Cape United.
Urumbu Olympics.
That was Olympics by then.
Yes.
Yeah, we beat them in the Rose Bowl Cup. That was my first medal in 1982. We were playing
Mangwaru Super League.
Yeah, Premier League.
Okay.
1982.
Yes.
Yeah. There was Philemon Dagaremba. Mike Msanga was still there. Boyce Malunga was our captain. Now they would introduce.
Where is Boyce Malunga?
He's in UK.
He was very popular.
Very popular.
He was popular.
And
That
playing
was.
with them.
Boyce Malunga was popular. I remember Trio Pana, Tito Radio. Even Felix Ntutu was very popular also. And Tito Packet.
And Tito Packet. We beat Cape
It was a strong team. So
very strong
Olympics
team.
was a strong
That
team.
was my first medal. Although
Where did you play? Where did you play this game?
We played in Harare.
In Harare?
Yeah. You know, in those days.
All the cups we played in Harare.
Played in Harare. Yeah. So after 1982, I was a different person.
Yeah.
I was a different person.
What did you do with your medal?
I still have it. I still have it.
And you came showing people around.
I had a problem with that medal.
Yeah, what was the
I remember
problem?
one day there was a good friend of mine. His name was Robert Dube.
Yeah.
This guy was very talented, but he had both.
Yeah.
At school, he was very good.
He was good. He could also play football.
He could also play football.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when I know he messaged. That's when things started to happen. Robert Dube was my best friend. We played together with Alexander Masego at Luveve big level.
Oh yes, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I was coming with money.
Yeah.
Going with my friends, doing this because I could afford anything. Yeah. And I had the support of the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my medal was the most important thing that I received in my life.
I know. It's important.
Yeah.
It's important to receive a medal. Yeah.
In school, when other kids were going to school, and there were sports days, I could also go there.
Okay.
I was a school leaver, but I was also going there. I always admired Robert Dube.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I wish that guy, but he's late now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I wish he had played football because he could have made a good mark. But his parents preferred for him to
go to school.
Which was good anyway.
Which was not bad.
Which
Yes,
was not bad.
I understand. Yeah.
So in 1983, I was 1984. I was now 20 years.
Okay.
I had already played for under 20, which included the Stanley Seniors.
National team under 20.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, tell us about that one. Yeah.
It was
How did you get the call up?
It was automatic because of my
performance at Olympics after the cup.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was very tough. There was Marenga Nyengela. We were playing the same number as a striker.
Oh, you were a striker then now?
Yes. There was Marenga Nyengela. There was Raman Kumbo coming from Wanderers.
From Wanderers. Oh, it was still Wanderers at that time.
There was David Mwanza.
From Tornadoes.
From Tornadoes, but he was coming from Rio Tinto.
Oh, he was still at Rio Tinto at that time. Yes. Oh, yes.
There was Joel. There was quite a number of guys.
I saw this. I saw one of the pictures.
There was Samson Phiri.
Oh yes. Is that the time when you were wearing the gold tops and black shorts? There's a picture that
I couldn't make it in the team. You know, I was so devastated because I was very angry because you couldn't do without Maronga Nyengela.
Oh,
the bomber.
The bomber.
He was so good. He was so good, and the group which was selected there, I'm telling you, the competition was there. He was already established in the Black Aces.
What Black Aces? Yes.
Black Aces.
Okay, yes, yeah.
So we were going outside the country, willy-nilly. Then Swaziland, by then South Africa wasn't.
I was not part of this thing.
Zambia and so forth. So that's how it happened.
Played for the under 20s.
For the under 20s, and then in 1983, end of year 1983, we were demoted.
After winning the cup?
I know, that was 1983. 82 was the cup.
Oh, 82 was the cup. Oh, okay.
And then
83, you were demoted to Division 1.
Division 1. And then Perry was appointed to go back to Highlanders, now as a coach, not as a player.
Not as a player?
Yes.
That's when he went.
That's when he went there.
To coach Highlanders.
Then he called Tito Packet. and we remained in Division 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when Tito Packet joined Highlanders.
Highlanders.
Okay.
In 1984.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
So by then, when we were playing, there was Tobias Mzambaji.
Where?
Olympics.
At the Olympics. Oh, Tobias Mzambaji had come now to Olympics. Okay.
There was Tau, there was Damburike, Musukurua Mdara, Thomas, Cosmas Zulu. And then there was Tobias Mzambaji.
Okay.
We were playing for the Division 1.
In Olympics.
Then it happened that Barry was a father to me. He told me to go to Bata.
Bata Power.
Bata Power.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I met the.
You went to Bata Power.
I went to Bata Power, but I didn't play.
How did you go there? You just decided to. You just arrived, or someone was called.
When you have got your mentor.
Okay. Yeah.
And then things are no longer the same. There's a new coach who's coming. He has got other ideas.
Olympics.
Yeah, Olympics.
Okay. Yeah.
But then it was Peter. Yeah, Peter. He came. He needed experience and so forth, and they wanted to come back to
the Super League. Yeah.
So I went to Bata. It didn't happen much because there was Onias Msana, there was Ray, there was Thomas Sendras.
Yeah.
That's when Highlanders came to pick me up.
From
when I was to sign
from Guero.
From Guero.
Is it? Yeah. Why?
Barry just said, I want that boy.
But he end up Bata Power.
Yeah. So I think he saw an opportunity.
Oh, okay.
No, let me call this boy.
Okay. Yeah.
I went there without signing from Bata.
Okay. Yeah.
There was Onias Msana, this guy who was coming from Wanki, Majola Banda.
Oh, Majola Banda, yes, I remember Majola Banda.
So it was unfortunate because I couldn't play for Bata. Highlanders came, just signed me. In those days, it was very easy. There were no agents. They gave me good money. Let's go back to Bulawayo.
To Bulawayo.
That's how I started to go to Highlanders. And with Tobias Mzambaji. That was.
Tobias Mzambaji now came from Olympics.
From Olympics.
Then you went together to Highlanders. Who was there at Highlanders at that time? Who were the players?
There was Perry.
With the players?
The players, there was Titus Majola, David Phiri, my brother. You know David?
I know David Phiri,
He played for Black SS.
Yes.
And then there was Matinda Ndomo, Namo Shambira, Peter Nkomo, Fanuel Nguwe, Morgan Phiri, who else? Then he was the coach.
That was 1984?
1985.
85?
1985.
Oh, 85, yeah.
1985. Then I was 21 years old.
Oh, okay.
22 years.
Yeah.
I was 22 years.
22 years.
Yeah. That's how it got started.
Majola Nyama. How was it? How was the feeling then?
You know,
did you ever dream that you were going to play for Highlanders one day?
You know, from a boy coming from my location.
Yeah.
Every child would love to play for Highlanders.
Yes.
There was Zimsens, by the way.
Okay, yes.
There were two good teams.
There was also Eagles.
Yeah. But I had an advantage because my coach is the one who called me. I knew I was going to play.
Okay, yeah.
It was very difficult to play for Highlanders by that time. Because when I was, they bought me for $1,000.
From Olympics?
From Olympics for $1,000.
Zim dollars.
Yeah,
no, $1,000. You know how much
$1,000.
Zim dollars. $85, $1,000 was a lot.
I bought my father a suit.
Yeah.
And a pair of shoes.
You're signing on fee?
No sign-on fee. 10%.
Oh, 10%? Yeah. $100?
$100. That was a lot of money.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah, getting that kind of money.
Yeah.
At that age. You know, I was better off than people who were working.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm a mechanic by
profession.
Yeah. So when I finished my studies, I had to go to college
to do mechanics.
to do mechanics.
Or for yourself. This you did for yourself.
Yes, I did myself.
Ah, my
You
God.
know, I was
you're-
just preparing my
the
future.
tops. Yes,
Yeah.
of
Then
course.
I went to Westgate, qualified as a coach. So I was doing mechanics here. That's why they were calling me Mr. Fix-It.
Oh, yes. Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
And then I was playing for Highlanders.
For Highlanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't have time to fix cars.
Fix it because
You know,
it was
I-
too much pressure in football.
I had my boss at Posen Bay.
Okay.
He was a Diamond supporter.
Oh.
We were not in good books
Oh, yeah.
because I was not always at work.
Oh,
I was
okay.
always off sick because at Highlanders you could travel. Sometimes going to Zambia, going to Lesotho during the off season.
Off season, yeah.
Going there, you know, you had to write my sick leave and so on. So he wasn't happy about that.
Ah,
So I left.
you decided,
Posen Bay.
I'll leave.
No, I left Posen Bay and then I went to Kenny Motors.
Oh, okay.
Then from Kenny Motors, I could see no, I was always having problems, difference with my boss was
Of
I was
traveling.
too much involved
In football.
In football. So I left.
Yeah.
So I
Focus
did
on
it
football.
on my own.
Oh, okay.
I was
Oh.
private.
Oh, privately now. Yes.
Because I just wanted to earn more.
Yes.
You know, by that time I was a youngster who hated beer, who hated girls. Yeah.
Why did you hate girls though?
I know there were problems because I could see.
You could have one.
No, I couldn't have one. Of course, I had my girlfriend. Her name was Titus
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah.
from Dumban.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wasn't much into girls.
Okay,
I wasn't
which was
into.
good. You were
much
focused.
I was focused on the family.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
18 our family.
Yeah.
So
You had to work.
I had to do everything that I could get money to make my family at least to get what they want. My siblings like McQueen, he never had a problem in getting whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 1986, that's when I had my breakthrough at Highlanders. You know, it was a strong team.
Yeah, the 1986 was like one of the
David
best
King,
ever
David
assembled
King.
Highlanders
Yes.
team. Yes.
We won everything except.
I remember that. What was happening with the championship? Why were you struggling to win the championship though?
Caps was very good.
What were you doing?
Caps United, they are the ones who took the league.
No, Cape
In
United
1986.
didn't.
1986.
No, it was Dynamos.
No, Caps United.
Cape United
You must remember what Caps United. We were runners up.
to Dynamos.
Yes.
To Dynamos, not Cape. Yeah. Cape United only won the league in 1979. Then the next
1979.
time they won it was 96.
Okay.
So 86 it
So-
was Dynamos.
so-
That year that was Moses Chunga when Moses Chunga
that-
scored 46, 49,
That's right.
46 goals.
Yeah. So we were
So
runners
then-
up in
Yes.
1986.
But you never won the league. You were not winning the league.
We were not winning the league.
But the Cubs.
The Caps were taking.
And you were coming to Harare
we
to
will take everything.
beat teams there.
We took everything. Then there was let's say it was May. Because of these problems, you know, the player strike, industrial and so forth. The whole team couldn't go to where the fixture in Gwel. We're playing Gwel United. You know, when I was at home, we could hear someone was talking to my father and so forth. He came to me and said, "No, your bosses are outside there. They want you to go." Going away. I'll go and talk to them outside. I saw Lawrence Phiri in Peritaka. Get your boots. We are going. There was a player strike. Went to Guero. It was on a Sunday. It was very, very cold. That time there was me, Alexander Masevo, there was Tobias Mlambaji. We had to fulfill the fixture. I was playing for the reserve team, although I was regarded as a
first team player. Okay, yes.
You know, we made wonders. There was the Ndara Bison. There was this guy from Guero. Who was this guy? He later on became James James, his first name was James. He later on became a soccer star of the year.
James Takawada?
No,
James?
James, he's now with Zesa.
No, I don't remember that.
He wanted to be president. You remember he wanted to be president of Zesa at one time.
It was James Takawada who was contested, but he was playing for Cisco still though.
Not James Takawada. It was James something. James. And then there was John Bison. There was Colin Semwayo.
Okay, yes, at Gweru United, yeah.
We beat them 3-0. I scored 2 goals. And the other one was scored by Chopez Mzambati. That's how I came into the first team.
Oh, yeah.
There was no going back there. Because their plans when they bought me from Olympics, Titus Majola was aging.
Okay.
They wanted someone who was to destroy. I was no longer a striker by then.
Yeah.
I was a destroyer.
A destroyer, yeah.
Meaning playing anchor man and so forth. So when we beat them, we beat them 3-2. It was 3-2.
Yeah.
So Highlanders had plans at that time.
Yeah.
Because they could see
what were the plans?
No, some of the players like Fanuel Ngube, Oxo, Titus Majola, I was to replace his place.
Oh,
but it never happened because he had a fatal accident. He was dead and he passed on. You remember in 1987? Yeah.
What was the year again?
That 1987.
Oh,
he died in 1997.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that was very bad. That was very bad.
Anyway, I wanna ask about that, but we're just gonna go for a break. When we come back, I want to ask what happened with the Titus Majola.
I understand.
We'll talk about it when we come back from the break. Because we're just gonna go for a break. I'm sure you are also eager to know exactly from the people that were close to the situation, what exactly happened to Titus Majola. Mzi, Yellow Man. Don't move away. We'll be back in a moment.
Stay serious, mta. Professional, but serious. Dairara mo irisarudu. Daidama kore mazana mana. Sawira huya timborangana. Timboronga tijinemka.
Welcome back, In Touch with the Legend. Yes, we are in touch with Amini Soma Phiri. I asked about Titus Majola. Yes. What happened?
You know, that guy was a very kind man. Very, very kind man. You know, sometimes in Zogo, Zema Bawa, there are so silly incidents that happen. What I understand is there was a certain woman who we all knew. He had been picked up by someone, one of the guys in Blawa and so forth. I understand there were Highlanders players and the Zimbabwe players. I know Joseph Machungura was there.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
At the pub?
Yeah, at the pub. What I hear, this guy, his girlfriend, saw the Highlanders players, you know, women. Okay, yeah. They say they were seated somewhere as players.
As players, yeah.
So she wanted to be there. And this guy could sense there was a problem. And this woman saw that I'm being attacked here because the guy was becoming very violent.
Oh, about the whole issue, yeah.
So I hear Titus Majola being a good Samaritan. He knew that guy. Not that that woman wanted to go to him.
No.
So he was just to say, no, I don't have to do this.
Don't do this.
Yeah, I understand it was very, very, very crowded in the place. So this guy knows Zimabao got frustrated at that time. He didn't give him a chance. He just wanted to stop the fight. That's how he did it.
Yeah.
And understand, he just took nothing.
I stepped in.
Sure. The following morning, there was news that Titus Majola is no more. We couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe it. Because 3 days before, we had played Zimbabwe since, and we had drawn.
Yeah.
We drew that game. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, he was gone.
Sure.
That's how it happened. I wasn't there. We could hear that it was different stories, but you were stabbed.
You were stabbed, yeah.
That's how he went.
Hey.
He never survived, but I hear he went to the hospital. They tried to save him, but it was not to be. That's how he. Yeah.
That's shocking, man.
Yeah. Nice guy.
Yeah.
You know,
shocking.
it was a fantasy. Of course, he was old. He knew how to play with youngsters. And to my surprise, he knew I came to Highlanders because I was to replace him.
Replace him.
But you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell. He was always advising.
Yeah.
You are a good player. You are going to be a very good player. But these are things that you are supposed to do. When you are playing for Highlanders, you make sure that Highlanders wins, because we have a very, very, very difficult support, and these people are in need of results. They don't care whatever you do. They need this one. Because he was a darling in Highlanders.
Yes.
But time was not on his side because he was aging. That's how what it happened. You know, I lost a person who I loved. I loved him. The 2 years that I had worked with him, you know, he was a marvel to be with. Even if he didn't play, he was always saying, no, your chance is going to come.
Yeah.
He was, I don't know how I can explain. That guy was a messiah.
Yeah.
He loved to laugh. Even if he will ask you when we were in camp, are you all right? Yeah, he will give you a plate.
Where did you guys camp?
We were camping at Luveve. Highlanders has got a property there at Luveve suburb.
It's like a house.
It's a house. It's a house. It's
How
still
big?
there.
How big is it?
Oh, it's very big. It can accommodate more than 30 people.
Serious?
Yes.
So they still camp there to
No,
this day?
these boys, it has changed.
Why aren't they camping there? They want hotels.
They want hotels. I should go there. They will tell you stories. You know, in our camp, we used to, you know, bonding was very easy.
Yeah.
Because we were cooking for ourselves, doing everything there.
Okay.
Yeah. When we were playing Bulawayo, you know, maybe the club was saving a lot of money going to hotels and so forth. But we used to, all the time that I played in London.
Yeah, I think for bonding it was quite good.
For bonding it was quite good because
team spirit.
Team spirit. We were always there. Sundays, sometimes they could decide. Let's say we were playing Cape United or Dynamos. Friday we'll be at camp.
Yeah. 2 days.
Sunday, 2 days. Sometimes Wednesday. Depending.
You lie?
Yes.
4 days.
4 days. Yeah.
In camp?
Yeah, in camp.
Ah.
Yes. By then, the chairman was Dumiso Kubete, the manager was Lawrence Phiri, the coach was Barry Daka and Cosma Zulu.
Football people.
And then later on came in 1988 Roy Barreto.
Okay, yeah.
You know him.
Yes, Roy Barreto.
From Zimbabwe Saints.
From Zimbabwe Saints.
And then came to Highlanders. We had a pretty good time. You know, especially when we were in camp, we were playing those videos and so forth.
Yeah.
Youngsters like Benjamin Konjera, Makwinje.
Anna Makwinje, man. How did it feel to have your young brother now coming through into the team?
You know, it was very easy for them, especially Peter, Adam, and me. Because of our presence, we were big names. You know, those boys were identified when they were playing their secondary school. Well, Makwinji went to Sobuka School,
yes.
and then Adam and Peter went to
Nslikas.
Yeah, and there was competition in those days, where teams like Zimbabwe Saints, Eagles, Highlanders, there was Red Seal, there was Wanderers. You could see their first team coaches going to see their matches.
To watch in the schools, yeah.
At the schools. In Mzilikazi, there was Adam and Peter. In Sobukazi, there was Guloge Lojo, there was Amini Soma Phiri, there was Gifty Lunga Senior.
Yeah.
You remember the...
But yeah, so it was strong. Sobukazi was strong.
Were very, very strong.
Yeah,
Even
Sobukazi was
Mzilikazi.
strong.
And then there was St. Columbus, Msiteli, Hlati. Lubebe was just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was Joga.
Okay,
There was Raman.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we were, sometimes they would be, when these guys were graduated in 1988, there was my Kenyat from Milton. There was Nkulego Dlodlo.
Changi.
Yeah. And there was Roy Kele. Those were the first guys who came after the Fanuels and the Titus Majola, Douglas Mloy.
Yeah, that's when these boys came in.
That's when these boys came in. So it was just automatic.
Yeah.
Makwinji didn't play because I was there. He played
for himself.
For himself.
Of course, yeah.
And he wanted the competition.
Yes.
Yeah. And then in 1988 was my great year.
What happened in 1988?
In 1988, I used to score imported goals.
Yeah, I know. Mr. Fix It.
Yeah, every cup, every league game,
yeah,
I was always scoring. But you know, in 1988, when these youngsters came in, I was a strategic person.
Okay.
I used to come and play maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes, but I was making the difference.
I know.
I was making the difference. I was scoring
how was it? How did you manage it? Every time you come in, you knew Amini Soma Phiri akupinda atoma one man.
Yeah.
What was happening?
Because of my strength and the weaknesses of the opposition.
Yeah.
I was very strong. You know, when I started, when I had to start,
there
were people like Joel Sam. He was a problem.
Yeah.
There was Moses Chunga. He was a problem. In those games, I started and I scored.
Okay, yeah.
But in these other games, I was only training maybe for 35 minutes. Doing these dead ball situations.
Yeah.
I was now specializing in
dead ball situations.
Dead ball situations because I was good.
Yeah.
You know, at one time when we were playing Black Rhinos, you could find people, 5 guys, marking me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bakona. But they couldn't. I was always called tops.
Yeah.
I was very good at doing what because I loved it.
The headers?
Yeah. I knew
So you trained those headers?
I was trained.
You trained
the whole week from Tuesday up to maybe Saturday when you are going to. When I was to be the substitute.
Yeah.
But I always came up the tops the last 15 minutes, last 10 minutes.
Yes. You just put the balls in the box.
We were doing it at training.
Yeah.
So it wasn't very difficult because I had a very tough opposition at training.
Where?
Alexander Masego was very
tall, yeah.
Peter Nkomo was very aggressive, but I was training against them.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know Zakaria Zeka. I don't know whether it's Zakaria Zeka, but I was always on top of the situation.
Yeah, I remember this game. You know, I'm a Captain fan.
I know.
Yeah, I'm a Captain fan.
Yes.
So we were watching this game.
Yes.
It was it 1-1 when he came on. Africa Day Trophy. I think it was Africa Day Trophy.
That is
National Stadium.
That was 1988.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I was in Form 1. I remember I was in
Form 1.
Yes, I was in Form 1 then.
You wanted?
Yeah.
You already said that. You Makwiji.
No, Makwiji is older than me.
He's older.
Even Peter is older than me. Dream age group yana Tabani Moy. Those ones are my those ones are my age. My age. Bana Alex Munawa. Yes. Yes. And Tonga Icheza.
I know them.
Yes. Those are my boys. Those are my boys. But Ndakabatangira Kutamba. I played earlier than them. But those were my age.
But in 1987, how old are you in 1997? You know what happened?
In 1997.
Yeah. In 1987, it
80 or 90.
1987.
87. I was in grade 7.
It was grade 7.
Yes, I was in grade 7.
Yeah. It was the start of. It was the opening, official opening of National Sports
Stadium. Yeah.
We were playing against Caps.
Okay. Yeah.
1987.
I didn't watch that one.
Yes.
I was not there.
There was Brenner at goals.
Yeah.
There was Sheikh Mentor.
Yeah.
There was Salah Twaliki.
Charles Banda.
Charles Banda. There was the seniors, of course. I'm the guy who scored in the first goal, which was
scored at the National Stadium
at the official opening.
Is it?
But it is never mentioned because I'm not a Matinda, maybe I'm not a Moses Chunga.
We are mentioning it now. So you are the first person to score at the National Sports Stadium in an official match.
That game was played.
Yes, I was in younger than you talked about.
That ball came from the wing. It was crossed by Titus Majola.
Oh yeah.
And it was a drive. I don't know how it happened. It just says boom. That was a goal.
Yeah.
And that was the end of the game. That was 1987.
The first goal.
The first goal.
But the goal that I'm talking about, I think 1988. I think it was Africa. I still remember it was the Africa Day Trophy.
They beat us here.
Towards the end.
It did 2 legs.
Yes.
The Caps United were leading 1-0.
Yes.
In the second.
Going into the second leg.
Second leg.
Then you beat us. You beat them 2-1 in the dying minute.
Yes.
No,
it wasn't 2-1.
I think so.
We drew. Takazo winane awekoro.
Yes.
That's when it started.
Caps United 1-0 kuno. 2-1. You got in when it was 1-1.
I got in 1-1. It was 1-1.
Then you scored the winner.
Yeah. People
don't remember winner how it goes. Yeah. I remember that one.
People didn't understand it. This away goal.
Yes, I know.
It started on those days in 1988. Yeah. But because Highlanders.
Yaka 2 away.
Yaka goes a goal, which had a goal extra.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Oh my goodness.
It was fantastic.
I felt like crying. Meaning after you scored and the game was over, it was finished.
You know, that was one of my best goals. Although I had scored many.
But it was powerful.
It was a powerful
header.
A powerful header. And I always joke with the Brenner whenever I meet him.
That one hit my feelings.
When we were coming back, the Bulawayo people, you will always find them at the airport.
Yeah, that's good.
At the airport, everyone was cheering from airport up to town. It was a wonderful atmosphere.
It was lovely to play for Highlanders.
It was lovely to play for Highlanders.
Kuma Streets match.
Kuma Streets
during the week after winning the cup.
Probably, but now I was already. I think 1987. I was already a father.
Okay. Yeah.
My firstborn James was born 1987. 11 June, the day Willard was born. Willard, they shared the same birthday with my son. Willard Komal.
Okay, yeah.
So I will always remember. Even my grandchildren, I will tell them about that goal.
That goal broke my heart.
People were always confused. How did the Highlanders win?
They started celebrating. And people were confused. You drew. takavadya uko wakatidya kuno saka
and
but
us as players,
but we were, some of us we already knew about because we were in football, and we knew that was it. When we scored, because at 1-1 we were winning, we were 2-1 up.
Yeah,
at that time we were winning.
That time.
Then when you scored that second goal,
was 89th minute.
Yes,
it was very painful for the opposition because you could see when Sheikman didn't want to lose.
Yeah, and kudhara kwanga kusingaiswe injury time yakawanda zvema injury time
it was 89th minute.
Yes,
when the ball went to the center,
it was over.
There was celebrations everywhere.
I was heartbroken. you know, for some of us we have to walk from National Stadium tunoita ifamba kakuenda ku town kuti tizokwira lift yekuenda kuchitungwini. So to walk, and that was a long walk.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, but
it was bad.
You know, in Blauer it was different.
Different story.
Different story.
Oh my God. Anyway, who was your best friend at Highlanders?
My best friend at Highlanders was Alexander Marcelo.
Your cousin?
But he was my uncle.
He was actually your uncle, not cousin?
Yeah, no. Yeah, he
okay.
was my best friend.
Yeah.
We came from the same location.
Yeah.
You know, Alexander, he says, Sisi kuna my uncle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
He comes from my mother's family.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes. All right.
So he was my best friend. Later on came Raman.
Oh, okay.
Later on came Raman. Raman was very close to him.
Okay.
Very, very close.
Shame.
Yeah. You know, when you're talking,
he was a good man. He was a good guy.
He was a good guy, very good coach, very humble, always.
Yeah, I remember.
Always sharing jokes with everyone.
All the time.
Yes.
I remember the time at the dream team. We were very young there, but he is one of those ones who used to embrace us. Him and Rambo.
And Rambo, yes.
And Willard. Those and good people.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yes.
You said that was your best goal, the best game.
One of my best goals.
Yes. What about the worst? This game in Highlanders, I was hurt. It was the most disappointing game at Highlanders.
We were playing in Arcadia. That game I didn't play.
Den Bismarck?
Yeah, Den Bismarck. There was George Rollo, Charlie Jones.
What happened there?
We were beaten in the final. You know, I like the money. You know, when we budgeted something, you know, we used to budget. There was no
cup. Then you lost to Arcadia.
And then we lost to Arcadia. I was very devastated. You know, those days there were no salaries.
Oh yes, I
Some
remember.
of us were working my winning bonus. Even if I owe you, I know I'm going to give you more. Although there was going to be money, but I always wanted a winning medal. I always wanted a winning bonus for the cup.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Although I didn't play, I didn't celebrate because, you know, I didn't like to lose.
I
didn't like to lose because our playing games, our playing days, and these games, we were always a winning team.
Yeah,
we were always a winning team,
which is good.
Yeah, that was but the most fascinating thing that happened in 1988. We were playing Dynamos at BF. I don't know whether you still remember it. I scored the hat-trick.
With a header? With 3 headers? 3 headers. Yes, I remember that one.
You know, I loved those goals. It was not from a dead ball situation. They were all from moves.
Cross header.
I scored 1 in the first half, 2 in the second half.
With the header?
Yeah. It was just a coincidence. You know, even my own brother.
Even Maquin.
He was powerful on the header.
On the header. My header say
that day, you know, that day, I don't know how I felt. No, it was so, it was so good representing Bulawayo at that time.
Yeah.
Playing the likes of Moses Chunga, Kenneth Jerry.
Was he your most difficult opponent? Who was your most difficult opponent?
The most difficult opponent?
Yeah.
Moses. Of course.
Moses.
He was a problem. That guy was a problem. I'm telling you, he was a problem. People are just mixing things. He never played the same time with Peter.
Yes, no.
So you can't compare. Moses was a problem.
But they played together on national team.
They played together on national team. But he was already gone.
He was
when
already
Peter
gone,
came
yeah.
in.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can't compare the two.
Yeah.
Peter, of course, he was a class of his own. Moses was a class of his own.
Yeah.
But playing Dynamos
was a problem.
Was a problem. That team was very strong, playing the likes of Kenneth Jerry.
Yeah.
Henry Chari. Charles Chola
Chiro.
Angrai Chapo.
It was a strong team. Kembo Chunga.
Kembo Chunga.
Yeah.
And you beat them 3-0.
Yes.
You beat them 3-0. And that team with the Titus Majola, there was David Phiri, there was me, of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
There was Matinda Ndlovu, there was Alexander Phiri, there was Tumsani Nyoni, there was Fanoli Ngube, Oxford Calls. The team was very strong. Yeah. Very, very strong.
Both teams were strong.
The people who were coming from the bench, you couldn't tell this guy, why is he not starting?
Koinda Highlanders ngogwesa ama last minute goals. Zvaifamba sei kuti sambapinda Tobias Mjambanje akapinda goal. Namusha Mbira akapinda goal. Amini Soma Phiri akapinda goal.
Yeah, we were fit.
There was also Tani Banda.
Yes, there was Tani Banda.
Tani Banda also. Tani Banda.
You remember well, yeah.
Yeah.
We were trained to do such a thing. You will see our coaches in the last minutes of the game.
Yeah.
At training, they will put maybe 6 versus 4.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
If you are a defender, you've got to make sure you are not scored.
Yeah.
If you are a striker, you've got to make sure you score.
You score. Yeah.
And we were a very, very good team. We were a very good team.
Of course, yes.
And there was Raman as a striker.
Of course, yes.
And the guy was, he always did whatever he wanted.
He was natural.
He was natural.
He was a natural, yeah.
It was a first, it was a, in those days, you remember when there was to be a soccer star selection.
Yeah.
They used to play Highlanders.
Yes, I remember. Yes.
You remember?
They would come and play the Highlanders at Baba Field.
Even if Highlanders had their own
players in the soccer stars.
In the soccer stars, they will always play Highlanders. But they will always get problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Highlanders was strong.
Well, Highlanders was strong.
Always.
Always
I don't know why they stopped those games. I also played in some of those games.
No, it was so fascinating.
It was very nice.
It was very nice. It was encouraging.
Very.
Yeah.
We knew that once you are on the calendar, you know that there was a trip to Bulawayo. There was a trip to Bulawayo. It was good. Football was good back then. Yes. But we have spoken about it. I don't want to get back there. I don't want to sound like a broken record. So when did you decide to retire, and why did you decide to retire?
It was difficult. It was a very difficult decision that I made, but I was forced to do. In 1994, the players that I grew up with, playing with, Raman Kumbo, Matinda, Tumsani Nyoni, Ernest Spanda, all retired. They were all retired in 1994.
Okay.
Whether it's injuries or age was catching up with them. They couldn't play anymore. So I decided, since I was just a sober guy who was not drinking and so on, I wasn't involved in these petty things.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that made me shy away from this thing was Titus Majola.
Okay, oh yeah.
That incident got into me.
Yeah.
So I hated beer. I hated beer. I hated gatherings.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to be in those places.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was I played with 3 generations. When I came to Highlanders, there was the Titus Majolas.
Yes.
I played with, I remember the other time I was playing against Gibson Omelo, Zimbabwe Saints. I came to Highlanders, there was the age group Yawana Willard. They were younger than us.
Yeah.
Then came group Yawana Adam and the Peters.
Yeah.
And then came the group Yawana Zenzo Love.
Yeah.
I was 37 years old by then.
By then, yeah.
Raman was the coach. I was still playing.
Yes.
So it was very difficult because when we were in camp, I was very lonely.
Yeah, yeah.
My age mate was Raman.
He was coaching.
But he didn't want to be closer to me. Ernest was a team manager. So there was Zenzo Moyo, Bektemba Lovo, Gifty Junior. There was this boy who was a keeper. He's in Uganda. No, not Amon. There's this Jabuli, so
okay.
Something. There was I was the only one. I was the only one who was elder. My friend was playing. They were calling me Malume. Later on, they called me cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I could, sometimes you got there, I didn't know their names, but they were playing with me.
Yeah.
So that's when I got this name cousin, because I couldn't name them because sometimes I forgot their names.
Yeah. Oh.
So I decided this was the time to retire.
Yeah, let it go.
I left football because of no injury. I left because I was lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I could be Zenzo's father. I was 37 and he was 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I decided no, I should be
leave me.
Yeah. That's when I started.
It's a coaching.
Yeah. No, I stayed for about that was 90. I retired in 1997. That year, they were Zifo was trying to play their games in June.
Oh, okay. Like that time, yeah.
But because of the conditions that our stadium had, they couldn't make it because the rainy season.
Yeah.
So when I retired in 97, 98 season, that's when I retired. Those players that I left are the players who took the league 4 times.
Oh yes, I remember. Yes.
So if I had stayed, I was going to be one of those.
Until you 41.
Until I was 41. And I would
you were still fit.
I was still fit.
Yeah, you were still fit.
But the problem is, I was very lonely. When Malume, a cousin, and so on. Sometimes the situation forces you. Because when someone is saying you are Malume, they are calling you are a father, you are an uncle, you are no longer their age. So I played with 4 generations.
Okay. So from there, then you started. You went into coaching.
Yeah, I came into coaching because I had so many people that I had convinced to sponsor me, especially the Luveve filling station where there was my good buddy there. He was the son of the guy who was always
the first one. Yes, I remember.
The name was still the same.
Yeah.
His son was still
now the
Robert Vera.
Oh, okay.
But the junior.
The junior, yes.
He sponsored me to come up with this project, Luveve Big Level. 1995, I was chosen to be a youth head coach for these games. What do you call them? My youth games.
Okay, yeah, the zone 5.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Region 5.
Yeah. So I had a lot of players that I came up with. The Tabani Kamsokos, Milton Mube, Rio, Guide Goddard, Ariel, who's still playing now.
Yeah,
he's 37. He's 37, 38.
I know, yeah. He's still playing.
Yeah. So that's when I came up with coaching.
Yes.
Yeah, up to 2009.
Yeah.
Then I went to Zimbabwe. I coached them when they were relegated in 2006.
Okay.
So that's when I started coaching the other sides. And then in 2012, I was appointed Highlanders manager. I was already a coach.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Then you went to be the manager.
Then I started to be a manager there.
Oh, okay.
We had a very good. We went 23 games unbeaten.
Yes, I remember that
But
time. Yeah.
you know, it's funny. We never took the league.
I know.
We lost to a very stupid error that was made by maybe the league or the people who were handling the situation. Wanki had a problem with Dynamos in the middle of the season. And that game was to be announced on the last day of the season. And it was rewarded to do Dynamos.
And they won the league.
Yeah, and we lost the league.
Ah, shame, sorry.
And by that time, Kevin Kaindo had come into the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was coaching.
Yeah. And then in 2013, I left. Then I had my project, which was being sponsored by Luveve community, especially the Luveve filling station where there was coffee.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
Then I went to in 2016. That's when I acquired my coaching certificate, the CAF A. In 2015, in 2014, I took the CAF B. There was I was with Moses Chunda, Sticks in the
Uzifa village.
And
I remember that one. Yes, I remember that one. Yeah.
In front of the Cape, Lloyd. Chitembwe.
Okay, yeah.
There was Calisto was already taken. Then in 2016, that's when I acquired my CAF A.
Yeah.
And then that was 2016, 2017. That's when I took my certificate.
Well done.
So I'm a CAF
A qualified coach. Yes. Well done.
Yes.
So you qualify.
I qualify.
So you're available.
I'm available.
Mazinzwaka guys, Amini Soma Phiri is available to coach. Anyway, thank you so much for coming to share with us.
It has been a pleasure.
Your story. Interesting story.
Yes.
But I haven't forgiven you. I don't know what you're going to do.
Oh,
I'm here in Bulawayo. That goal.
Sorry.
I haven't forgiven you. Do something. Do something. Get me a drink at the sports club.
Of course.
From here, we're going to the sports club.
Of course.
Get me a drink. Yeah, I haven't forgiven you. I need to forgive you.
You know,
I have to.
Yesterday, I had a pretty sad day when there's this boy who just passed on.
Brian Band. Yeah.
That boy, I spotted him when I was the head coach at Highlanders in 2017 with Prince Dube.
Yeah.
They were very young. Banda was so tiny, but he had everything that a football player.
Yeah.
You know, I took from Barry Dagger. I could see this boy was going to play.
Yeah.
I spotted him, and I'm the one who introduced him to the first team. And he never looked back.
Really sorry.
You know, I could feel tears when I saw his son.
Yeah.
You know, that boy, when you meet him in town, he was always in good mood, and he was calling my father, Baba, not coach, Baba, meaning I was his father.
His father.
Yes.
Really,
and he could give me anything he had. Sometimes I would say, no, why are you doing this? No, you are my father. Yeah, I haven't forgotten about you.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling Prince the other day. Yeah. But you know, life.
It's life, man.
Yes.
May his dear soul rest in peace.
So you know, the nation, all of, and especially the platinum people there.
Yeah,
I understand he was a darling to the community there.
Yeah.
You know, they've lost one of their own. But in Bulawayo, especially in Tumbani, where he grew up, it was pretty bad because I could see the atmosphere and people were so hurt.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming. You still owe me.
Yeah.
Guys, that was Amini Soma Phiri, you was telling us about his footballing journey. I'm sure you enjoyed it. I'm happy that I did enjoy. But let's meet again next week when we bring you another Zimbabwe footballing legend to come here and share with us their footballing journey. Like I say, Dinyato the group are part in this show. My name is Alois Bunjira. Until we meet next week. Cheers, guys. Ta, ta, ta.